Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Some dude truck had the 2 bucks long on it, like loud. And I walked by, and I just looked at it like. You turn the phone.
If anyone's gonna go to the locker room before coach, now's the time to step out here.
Thank you, Drew.
Turn the mic on. Gosh.
You think you're going the up nod or the down nod?
No, I gave it a stare, and I'm like, stupid nod. I didn't mean it that way, but I'm really excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Stupid pass.
Okay. Let those go. Actually, just
You?
You like to look So, thank you.
Sarah.
What's it?
That is nice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
How come you didn't do that for me, Herbie? This is actual.
There wasn't those crowded when you walked in.
And this right here, the shining back here.
I've moved down. Hold on.
Bye, come here.
Dude, buy it and race it in here. 50 miles an hour.
It's 42 after we get some. We'll be racing.
Well, I don't know why he's in such a hurry driving up here. Is he crawling over here? You're flying up there. You can't miss him. It's the, you know, like Cooper, Boston Powers special. It's good beating out there.
There's nature in there. That you jerk out. Walking quickly.
Nate Bahe and Matt there.
Matt there. Yeah, I don't see Matt.
Is this yours?
No, I see Matt that just drove up. He's got that red Mazda, right? I think he does.
Yeah.
All I know is that 41 forced me to parallel park. That's all I know.
You're good at though.
I am good at it.
You're
Jacobs,
texting you this morning.
Jacobs, just like, you know, creating hurdles back there. Is that right?
What's up, Bob?
I said, all I know is 41 forced me to parallel park.
Forced. I mean, you can find other places to park.
Parallel parking is not like riding a bike. I don't feel like you can, I don't think you can, I don't mind parking past the,
I know.
no,
I
don't
was
park,
looking today.
but only if it's like the last spot. Yeah, so I felt like I had to tuck in behind.
I couldn't tell if you were, me down. I think you wanted me to try to find your car, so I could park. Again.
Are you flying up there? Hey, really?
It was, I didn't want to push the envelope any more than I'd already pushed it. Plus it looked pretty immediately like lot parking, so.
Did you park right up there? Is that what you-
Yeah. It's really become that. For the most part. There's not like there's many more of us.
For dinner tonight.
It was not on me. You must be doing something.
I'll tell you what, he's good. Back over his head. Trying to keep it out of my shop. I'm gonna like park across like 3 spots.
Yes.
Like double, I'm gonna double park at the lot right here. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna something like, can't park that. You want to get a new stadium.
Yeah, do like an auditorium type.
The guy at the how the Saints do it was a new guy. Just do it on the prowl.
I didn't know you had a, I didn't know you had your own AirPod too.
Just being,
I'm about to think about.
Oh, yeah.
the auditorium, I mean, not staying, the auditorium.
Something that's.
Really
Packers, Bears.
You're not there now.
Every story's important.
It is,
I like the Saints set.
Well, you
Because it's right. at-
especially when it's an athlete of the week for my own water.
What really important to the parents.
They have Nielsen boxes, super. Combos.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Pretty nice story. In the league, probably.
When it first came, I like to say, yes, but not anymore. I mean, you think of a modern football stadium, you gotta put freaking Minnesota top.
Oh, I was talking about facilities. I've never been to that class. Minnesota's pretty facilities.
So,
I love that
I have
stadium.
one right now.
The stadium is like very impressive.
Best pregame in the league is Minnesota.
So it's a Jag question.
Oh, really?
Minnesota's, they got a nice, everybody's doing this.
The school campus.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I probably see it early.
It's good. They like jazz music. In the back.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like a Viking.
Yeah. Rip some Warriors heart out or something.
These are up here.
Then they lose.
Go ahead.
Oh, but I can't, like that, I can't work on it.
I don't have these.
I tell you what, that
It's
freaking.
Like right here.
I can't work on
Their
it.
downtown's all connected by tunnels.
Yeah.
You go anywhere, you don't have to go outside. Oh, yeah.
You know, the Super Bowl when we was at the Mall of America.
I see it. I saw Mike and you work that, so you can read your name on it.
That's been pretty nice.
Yeah.
The rest, not so.
Took over an entire freaking second floor, radio rooms.
Yeah, it'd be good Midwestern city, but they're probably not because they're not football stadiums but there is a large roundabout.
Don't get it.
Because
These days.
they had open air.
Threw me off, why? Just getting ready.
I almost came through there. I thought, how can I throw Herbie off?
Bear a striking resemblance to the head coach of the Chiefs.
Should have known better because McMullen's not in here. He's a 2-minute warning.
I won't be surprised if Casey ends up having like some of the hottest World Cup games. Because Dallas and Houston are both indoors. Doing it like 2:00 in the afternoon. Toast.
How late can you start a game in here?
Yeah, I know. I
Like
said,
9 PM kickoff?
I was like, buddy, we're getting 10 a.m. kickoffs and 8 p.m. kickoffs.
Yeah, I just think for the guy.
What's freaking, Middle East country posted it with
One
It's hard.
It's
It's like win them all at night.
only 5,000 people died in Milton Stadium.
Yeah, they had their best before the World Cup.
Bullshit. Yeah, Jumbo. It's a Jumbo.
Like every time there's been something, they're like, what was that one game? The Jumbo guy as a referee collapsed. And then there's another player. Yeah,
Jumbo.
it's always here.
Yeah.
Well, one thing before we get something.
You know, that means they're not ready for a Chiefs mini camp. So,
I'm a soccer team. Playing the area in Denver. I don't care. There's 2 to 3 picks in the advance.
oh, it's like all set.
Oh, I don't-
Like,
I'm
I'm
not-
playing KC, you're gonna play Houston, Dallas, or one of the
It's
Mexicans.
easy for me to not drink too much.
I think Atlanta's in the central too. But the good Atlanta, Houston, and Dallas are all indoors. Yeah, KC's the one they're
Yeah.
like, oh crap.
What is that, in June? No, July. July, I think, right? Well, June, July.
When the World Cup ends and the Chiefs minicamp begins like, or Chiefs training camp begins like next week. Perfect.
Careful. Good morning, good morning, yep, good morning.
Here we go.
It's go time.
Look alive. I'm sorry, just crowd here, but.
Right. Really don't have any injuries to mention. Everybody's going to practice today. Jacksonville is a good football team. We look forward to the challenge of playing them. Liam has stepped in there and done a nice job with that group, along with his coordinators and coaches, and they've got tremendous talent, and it shows. So on both sides of the ball and on special teams, and they're leading the league in turnovers or number one defense. I mean, you can start naming a ton of things on both sides of the ball that they're really good at. So I look forward to that challenge. Time, yours.
Yeah, with turnovers, Andy, what stands out in that aspect about what they do defensively?
Yeah, they catch the ball well, first of all, and they work they're disciplined in their lanes on their zone drops, opportunistic on tip balls, and then they've stripped out a couple balls. So they go after it. You got to make sure that you're aware of that as you play them, for sure.
Andy, at the same time, you have only one turnover this season. What have you done as a team to kind of guard against that?
Right. Emphasize it, I guess. But the guys, it really comes down to the guys doing it, and the guys have done a nice job keeping it high and tight when needed, and not having tip balls. All the things that kind of lead to those. And then, this is a potential weather game, so you add that into it too. You got to make sure that you really take care of the football.
Andy had mentioned how the offensive line, or both sides of the lines, played very well, but especially the offensive line, since we're about to talk to Trey, just as a quarter way through the season, how do you feel like they've just ascended, in your opinion, up to this point?
Yeah, we're getting better there as we go, as they play together more. Trey's a beast. We know that. He gets in there and he'll battle with anybody. Tough guy. And like I said, the other day, was that it doesn't all have to be pretty. I just, you want to get the job done, and they're kind of doing that right now. So it's we've got some young guys that are getting better.
Seems like you're trusting Bashard maybe earlier than other rookies in previous years. I guess what has he shown you that he's able to handle that load?
Well, literally, being able to handle it's half the battle. Just from a mental standpoint, he's picked it up well. He's in a good room where guys can help him and have done some of these things that we're asking him to do in the past. So he's willing to listen. Very humble kid, and works hard.
Coach, there was obviously a little, not altercation, but a back and forth between Coach Cohen and Robert Salah after the game. I know that's not anything anybody wants, but, what is the accusation, like, we talked about stealing signs, and that kind of thing. What's the right way? I mean, you're kind of the old guard of the coaching fraternity. What's the right way to handle that?
Yeah, listen, it's been going on that goes on. So if you're going to put a sign out there, I just gave you one, you didn't see it. But but if you're going to put it out there, guys are going to look at it and try to sneak it from you. So the headsets have kind of taken away a little bit of that, but that's what it is. It's all part of it, and got to move on. So yeah.
Did you ever have any kind of conversation like that after a game?
No, but listen, those guys know each other. That's the thing. People, they're buddies and competitive, and we're at the same place last year, and so it gets brotherly. So they start arguing. That's all right. They're all right.
Coach, the last time you played a regular season game in Jacksonville, Jawan had the lash of penalties and came out of the game. This is obviously an emotional game for him, and he goes off the quarterback's cadence on a Monday night. It's gonna be a big crowd. Is there a special focus for him this week for this game?
Yeah, well, it's home, and he did play there at the same time, so I'm sure it'll be emotional for him that way. And then he knows the other part of that. He knows he's got to focus in on not being too quick off the ball, and but at the same time being quick. It's you got to be on time, spot on, and so he's worked hard at that.
Coach, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but this is a new coaching staff, first time head coach, bunch of brand new coaches coming into a situation. Just how impressive is it that they seem to kind of have a character already this early into a tenure of a guy?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great for the league, and it's legit. So this is something they're playing good football, and they're coaching well. You can see the guys are listening to them and doing what they want, and it goes off to them. But I think overall it's good. It's good for the league to have that kind of competition, for sure.
Andy, with your wide receivers, when you get Xavier back, obviously it means less playing time for someone this last week. It was Taekwon. I just wonder, like, is this going to be like a week-to-week thing? You sort of analyze maybe best guys to use. If you want guys to get in a certain role or rhythm.
Yeah, there's one ball, so the guys know that, and as long as you stay humble with it, and you don't get that hungry thing where you start wanting and then don't play. But I mean, the guys have done a great job. They're all good buddies, and they're kind of pulling for each other. But you want to maintain that. That's a tough thing. When you have a number of guys, what's real is there's one football.
Coach, you probably addressed this Monday, and I apologize. How did the offense, was the offense as good as it looked to us just watching the game?
Yeah, listen, there were some good things. There's some things we've got to work on. Can we be better? Absolutely. On the offensive side, Matt has done a good job of finding things. With Joe Blameyer, these guys are finding things that work for the guys that are playing, and kind of the offensive line did their thing. They got another huge challenge this week. I mean, this defensive line is a good one. So it's every week is its own deal. But this past week there were some good things that took place. Just got to keep building on that.
Seren?
Coach, I know we've had Deion Sanders play both ways a little bit, but no one's really kind of leaned all the way into it like the Jaguars are with Travis Hunter. I'm just curious of, what you think, how difficult that is to try to be up to speed on both sides of the ball, and was there anyone you were ever tempted to try that with?
Yeah, well, you get a good player, you'd love to be able to do that. I think Troy Brown did it for a little bit, where receiver, DB, and nickel position. So it takes a special guy to jump in there and be able to do that. My hat goes off to the kid. I mean, that's not. It's hard being a rookie, and then really hard doing both sides, knowing both sides of the ball. So.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right. Great.
So, Rand, what sign did he show you?
Just the indicator.
It looks like he's got both hands up.
He just kind of flicked it out.
Flipped it, yeah.
I like that. Good.
Just can't move so.
That or it's because I was standing close to Todd, or sitting close to Todd. That's the sound. I caught a stray. I was aiming for Todd.
Todd stray bullets can be a problem.
Watch out.
Set the lines. Plus the almost 57.
Just keep my name out of your mouth. Keep my name out of your mouth.
You've been trying to picture Andy saying that to somebody this week. I can't quite visualize it.
I haven't looked after they had good trail.
That's over Fred.
So you gotta remember your friends. There's a brother right there. Because I hear I only hit you, I don't necessarily think of you as a brother.
Herbie and I have had that conversation before.
I don't think you're gonna want to show.
He's told me to keep his name out of my mouth, and I've told him I won't.
Share a beer later, but why? Sure.
63, 14, 60.
So.
There's a place, so the part where they start punching each other and they come around and we're like, I'm gonna be at the commissary.
Maybe, yeah.
As Tom Brennan, we never put blazing saddles on any airways, ever. Never, ever quote that movie. Fired.
Words and language they use in that movie would not fly today. No
You
freaking
can't
way.
make that movie.
Yeah, they couldn't even make a remake.
Yeah.
Count how many times they Holy. You see that movie? I'm gonna get. Oh, that movie couldn't be remade.
There's a lot of movies that come.
Anybody needs a theme song?
Never remake that movie.
This character, you're all asking what all the bells were for, just for typewriting.
If you want to know about my childhood, my dad showed me blazing saddles when I was 12. This will learn it real quick.
But you are in Florida.
Thanks, Coach.
I still think one of my top 3 moments of press conference of all time was the day that we asked Eric Van to just come in if he'd ever seen the Golden Child. And he immediately just said, I want the night.
Yeah. We were asking, like, there were a couple
We
people
were talking about that live, that particular live.
Oh, gosh.
And he comes in and we're like, "Have you seen the Golden Child? I want the night."
I did.
No, I'm gonna look at this computer. I'm watching it. I just want to make sure it's good to see after it's one.
It's Bears assistant today.
Keep an eye out.
Watch running backs picture and give me a selector.
Because I'm not. It's just like, oh my God.
Outside,
Outside, right up before you get it, but it just, it's like, oh, he's everywhere. You're just like, yes, I do. Like, but then like, it's embarrassing.
That one day. Oh, I didn't know. Now hiring MNF retired. So
He had variations.
Exactly. Help on it.
Is there one?
4.7 cents.
Yeah.
Making it like 4.5 cents.
Example, so.
4.5, that's a no-brainer.
And then like, he was doing math, you're like,
They're practicing.
said, it's a times 100 gallons or 100 ounces of milk. And I'm like, I'm saving like 2 cents here. I'm like thinking of 3 ways.
It's wild, like now I only get like beer. I have 10 cents on that. Like if I go to Waterway, it's here. It's Waterway. So I say 20 cents. That's better. You know, trying to read that not working. But damn, I'm economically trying to read that stuff. You know, share through the depression. Like we get through reading towards the
They were just
that's why she stood down 5 hours for your day.
They were unfilled dirty.
Yeah. You know, she went through the depression. You know, that's not it. It's just become a cheap.
I had to be nightmare to sleep and wake up. That's how I watch, but I was in my house. So I was like, this is have water. I'm not it's got to be $10. Same price to get 3 months for the rental. And I was like, well, that's pretty deal. I mean, I'm never gonna be here near you. What if I don't
It's near the sea. If you wait, whatever first car wash, which is outrageous. If you wash it, it's supposed to rain on it. So all you can wash, you know, is if it comes down, so you can go whenever you want. It's the price of 10 minutes. You should see how it affects the game. I was like, you have cash this game? No, I'm like, you know, like, and like, walk pay the cash in Jacksonville. I was like, okay, I'll just spend it. So now it's like some best things, you know, I got a black car, I'm gonna cash that car.
better offers? Texting place now has a cash card.
Yeah, and no, you know, take 2%. We always keep a few bucks in cash. Because if you do extra time this week, anyone's going over for a whole project. You know, like the new plumbers, well, there was too bad the league yard, we give the shoes like 7% over, maybe 10%. We always like keep the lunch, like. Yeah, he's ridiculous. It's just a dead on the road. He's got 250 for that. Yeah,
One of my knee surgery, insurances. I had no insurance when my knee.
Right.
And as well as my doctors. I said, what's this? Still I pay cash.
Here we go.
Which we can't cash.
Thank you. There's like, I mean, like, we did our, that's okay.
All right, guys. Sorry.
Patrick, facing the defense, 13 turnovers, most in the league, and you guys been able to control the ball as well. But when you look at playing with Jacksonville and their defense, what stands out and impresses you most about how they've been able to get those turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, they're very fundamentally sound. And when you have a fundamentally sound defense that's that talented, with the amount of players that they have at every single level of the defense, that's a hard defense to go against. And they do a great job attacking the football. They're causing the turnovers. It's not like the turnovers are just happening. They're punching the football out. They're tipping passes. They're intercepting the football when they get their hands on it. And so it'll be a great challenge for us. We have to make sure that we're really fundamentally sound as well. And we can't give them any opportunity because they're capitalizing on them. Yeah, I mean, he's just like the perfect build for a defensive end. I mean, just fast. He's tall. He just has a great variety of pass rush moves, and then he can drop in coverage if necessary as well. And so he's done a great job in this league for a couple of years now. And so I think he's kind of in that perfect moment where he's kind of a veteran and kind of knows the veteran stuff, but still has the athletic ability to make stuff happen as well. And so a great football player that we'll have to account for on every play.
Patrick, when you went back and watched this game, was it kind of how you'd seen it immediately afterwards, or what stood out to you?
Yeah, I think the execution, I think, was the biggest thing. I mean, obviously the guys made plays and we were able to score a lot of points, but I'm always big on the execution, executing on the plays that are called, and everybody being on the same page. And I think that was something that we did at a very high level this last game, and something that hopefully we can continue to do as the season goes on.
There were a couple plays where it seemed like, you know, there was enough time to where maybe you could have looked to run, but you still stayed in there for an extra long time. Was that something that stood out to you?
Yeah, I think it just continues to build trust with the offensive line, and they're doing a great job of pass protecting. And so for me, just being able to trust it, sit in that pocket, maybe that extra tenth of a second, and give guys chances down the field. Something I continue to even get better at now, but I think I did a better job of that this last week for sure.
Hey, Patrick, tight window throws, you've been trying to give guys chances. You said, going back to the one for Juju last week, what goes into a play like that to make where it's a real bang play?
Yeah, I think it was we schemed it up very well, where we knew kind of the coverages that the defense was playing down there, and we knew that it was going to be a tight window, but the way they played their coverage, there was a spot on the thing, and Juju ran the route perfectly, and so I was ready to throw on time, and we had an option to go after that, obviously, but the window was big enough for me to throw the ball, and then a physical catch by Juju there in the end zone and making the play happen.
Real quick, you guys have had more tight window throws, more deep throws, but not as many turnovers. I guess what do you attribute that?
Yeah, that speaks to the guys that are making the plays. You know, I'm giving guys chances down the field, and they're making plays happen. It's either them or nobody else, and so that's something that we preached all off season, and it's good to see that success happening. And let's continue it as the season goes on.
Andy was asked about the Lee Cohen, Robert Saleh sign stealing thing,
Mhm.
kind of laughed it off. I guess, do you have to be any more cognizant of something like that this week?
I honestly don't really understand. I mean, we switch signals like every single week, so I guess maybe and I have no idea honestly. So it's something that I don't necessarily understand, but we'll make sure to switch our signals, I guess.
How much time do you spend on that every week to learn new things? Is that a big part of the week?
I mean, for us, we just we scout the defense and we try to learn what we can from them, and as far as our coverages and stuff like that. And then for us, we like I said, we switch signals every single week, knowing that the game is on TV and teams watch that, and so we try to make sure that we're interchanging that stuff so they can't get a beat on what we're trying to do.
Patrick, I know you love watching film, and in particular, just guys across the league. Did you this week spend a little more extra time just watching what Travis Hunter has at least attempted to do these first 4 weeks playing offense and defense?
I haven't watched a ton. I mean, obviously I've watched his defensive snaps now. But I know he was a super talented player in college, and it was fun to watch him at Colorado make plays happen. And coming out in the draft process, I always watch those receivers. And so he's special when he gets the football in his hand and being able to make guys break tackles and make guys miss. And then seeing him play defense now, I mean, he's done a great job I mean, obviously with his defense, done a great job in this scheme of playing man and zone, and being around the football as well. And so, a special football player, and also someone that we'll have to account for when he's out there on the field.
When you guys went back and looked at Rashard Smith getting a little more each week, what did you think this week with the role he had and how he did?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job. You know, it's just like any other rookie in this offense. You kind of give him more and more each and every week, and he's done a good job of taking it in and going out there and executing at a high level. And so we'll continue to do that. It helps. He's played receiver a lot, so he can run routes, and he also played running back, so he can run between the tackles. And those are special football players to have because it keeps the defenses guessing, and that's what you want to do. You want them on their heels, and then be able to attack them in a variety of different ways.
Patrick, with the way you guys work for almost 8 drives there, putting yourself in position to score, how do you guys kind of keep that edge about you?
Yeah, I think there's still a lot to learn from. I mean, early in the first half there were some of those drives that stalled out, kind of like we had been doing earlier in the season. So trying to find ways to execute, especially earlier in football games, to build leads. I mean, like I've always said, when you build a lead with Spags calling the defense, it really unleashes him to really go out there. And so we'll continue to work at the little things fundamentally, and try to all be on the same page so that we can execute it at a higher level early and then keep that momentum through the rest of the game.
Seren?
Patrick, I know you're focused on what you have and everything, but I'm just curious, the fans are keeping an eye on the Chargers as that game's happening and everything. And I know it's early in the season, but do you, when you're looking at your phone, listening to your music, you see the updates, are you aware of what's going on in the division and around the league before you play, when you play those later windows?
Yeah, but like you said, it's early in the season, so we know we still have a lot coming our way. But I mean, I'm obviously rooting against them. So like if I see like the Giants are winning, I'm happier than if they weren't winning. So it's I'm not necessarily like keeping up to date like all the time, but if it's on the TV or if I'm at Arrowhead and they show a highlight, I'll definitely look and see who's winning the game.
Patrick, it looked like you were watching the game the other night with Tyreek from the Prayers Up tweet. But have you talked to Tyreek, and what kind of were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him a little bit, but I think more than anything, just sending prayers his way because I mean, you never want to see that happen in football, and it's part of the game, but it's a terrible part of the game, and I know how he works, and so I'm excited to watch his comeback now. Kind of he'll get to work and be back at it, but obviously praying for him and his family because I mean, you never want to see that on the football field.
Harvey?
Patrick, I know you don't really pay too much attention to your individual accomplishments, but 252 regular season touchdowns, the youngest player. What does it mean to pass a guy like Aaron Rodgers? And you guys are kind of like friends. Have you heard from him?
No, I have not heard from him. I mean, I think he's like he was just in Dublin or something like that. So I don't know if he wants to reach out from there. But no, I mean, to pass him, and as far as right now, I mean, it's really cool. But I got a long ways to go, and the amount of touchdowns he's thrown, and that was someone I watched growing up. And so I'll continue to just get better and better, and try to score as many points as possible, and more than anything, win as many football games as possible. And I think at the end of my career, I'll be happy with where I'm at.
Steve?
Patrick Xavier brought it seems to bring that spark to the offense this past week. You obviously know what he can do. Did he exceed your expectations at all from coming off of that injury?
I mean, obviously, just you never know coming off injury, but that's what I expected from the beginning of the season. I think the best way to put it is he's a guy that can win one-on-one against really everybody in the league, and so when you have that much explosiveness and you can run routes like he does, it brings a lot of attention to him. And so you saw that they were having to make decisions if they were going to play man coverage or if they were going to play zone coverage, and then it helped get other guys open as well. And so as well as just bringing energy. I mean, like, he has a lot of energy on the football field. He's got celebration, seems like every single week. And so I think that's contagious, and it brought energy to the entire sideline and the entire team. And it was a great thing to get him out there.
Last one, Sam.
You didn't go against Noah Williams a ton probably in camp. I know he wasn't playing a ton with the ones, but did his physicality stand out to you when the reps you did get against him?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, I usually have a pretty good feel for especially the DBs and stuff like that. And I mean, I was talking to Coach Merritt and Coach Spags early about just the way he played. I mean, obviously the physicality, but like he's in the right spot all the time, and he's in the right coverage. He has a good instinct for being around the football, and I think that's something that it's hard to learn. You kind of either have that or you don't. And so he's done a great job. I haven't been able to watch a ton of their film, but just from watching the coverages that I've seen, he's done a great job this year, and I think he'll continue to get better.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate you.
Happy to help. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey.
Trey, it seemed like as a group, as offensive line, you guys had your best outing this last week. Just wondered if you felt that way, just how you would grade this last week, maybe compared to the first couple.
Yeah, definitely just taking strides, as a unit and just, taking it game by game, day by day. And there are things we all need to work on, but really enjoy seeing the young guys get after it and, everybody in the group having success in that way. But like I said, there's still a lot of things that we all need to work on.
Trey, when Kingsley was starting last year, you were a defender of your guy. I guess how great it's to see the strides that he's made and what he's doing in the season.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Kings go out there and doing his thing and having success. And he's a great guy and he's a great teammate, great friend of brothers. So it's always good seeing someone that you care about, going out there balling, doing well, and finding success on the field. And we know what type of player he is, how talented he is, and he has a high ceiling and potential for what he can be.
I think you're a little older, got the contract and so on. How is the mentorship role? How much do you enjoy that part of it?
Yeah, it's cool. Great responsibility, man. Just trying to help bring everybody alongside with Creed as well, and Jawan as well, being the older guys in the room to help guide the younger guys and uphold a standard. Like I said, sort of top to bottom leadership with Coach Heck and Corey Matei, sort of dictating, and we just sort of make sure we uphold the standard.
What's the biggest challenge, just communication on the line, and is that the sort of thing you've already seen blossom a little more with a couple, 4 games under the belts on the left side?
Yeah, I think just continuity with the offensive line, if you look at the position as a whole, is important. Understanding the tendencies of the guys you play next to, how he's going to take a certain block, how you set something up, how he's going to respond. It is extremely important just to build that communication, that comfortability, and that comfort level beside the guy you're playing with.
And more specifically, just with Jawan, how does that communication work in terms of just spacing? And is that something you guys have to be conscious of all the time?
Yeah, just different looks that the defense presents, playing with anticipation for it. And then just practice, like the more reps you get, the more comfortable you get, the more it's almost second nature. And being able to play with somebody for a couple of years, you understand their tendencies and their habits, and you have a certain level of communication that you have going into it. And, it all helps. And like I said, there's so much importance in terms of continuity and offensive line, playing beside people.
Trey, with goal line and red zone, it's kind of your guys' chance to shine and impose your will. What do you guys kind of feel like you're at in that front?
Yeah, and in critical situations, just, we can always execute and be better. And at the end of the day, I feel like for us, if we just execute what our coaches have for us, we'll be good. And, I feel like there's always so much more for us to work on as a total unit.
And with the Jaguars, the way they run the simulated pressure, they're on third down, and then obviously the stunts, what are the challenges there for you?
Yeah, the Jaguars are extremely talented defensive front. A lot of veterans in that unit as well. They do a really good job. They're a good football team first and foremost, but especially up front, their defensive line is sort of the heartbeat of their defense, and they do a phenomenal job. And it's NFL. Everybody's going to be good week in and week out. It's going to be a challenge up front. But we're going to prepare. We're going to attack. And like I said, I can't give enough credit to those guys because how well they played the game this year.
Trey, you mentioned kind of the young guys, and as you look back, when did you feel like you were the player you are today? Was there a time it took 3 games, 6 games, a year and a half? When did you feel like you'd kind of matured as a player in that process? At least for, I know everyone's probably different, but
Yeah.
at least for you, when you felt like, okay, I got this.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. First year, to be honest with you. I feel like in playoff time, that's when I started really super settling in. Like, I know what I am, I know what I'm doing, sort of my role in the team and the sense of urgency, getting enough looks over that year span where it's like, man, I've seen every front, every type of player. And then obviously going to year two, you have that level of, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I need to be. And I feel like it's a constant building process. We're all trying to learn, we're all trying to be better. And it just takes a lot of time. And for our young guys, are doing a great job of attacking it. Like I said, we have great coaches with Coach Head, Coach Matei. They do a good job making sure the guys are ready and prepared. And mentally, man, can't give them enough credit for how they attack every game. You know what I mean? They handle it well. They handle it like professionals.
You're known as a very aggressive player, right? Trish Blackson. I remember that was one of the big calling cards when you were drafted about, driving guys off the ball. When you have an RPO and, there's a limit to how far you can go downfield, how difficult is that for you, always having been, aggressive, finish, drive guys, and then you get this limit where you got to stop? Does that take something away? How much does that make it difficult to be effective in the run when you know there's a limit?
No, I don't really think it changes our mentality. Sort of what we preach, like, at the end of the day, it could be a pass. We run a lot of RPOs as well. But for us, it's just getting after the guy up front. And we have systems built in our offense where we aren't, down the field and doing things of that nature. But like I said, our coaches do a phenomenal job of teaching us that. There's a level of controlled aggression. I would say that's something that I had to learn and still learning at times. But I wouldn't say it really affected my play that much as a whole for the most part. You know what I mean?
Do you like the ones that aren't RPOs better, where you just know you can just, drive the guy as far as you can?
I have no preference as long as we keep pushing that ball down the field. No preference.
Last three, go ahead, Tom.
We talked about Kingsley a little bit, but Simmons has had a couple of eye-popping moments for us, running down someone on an interception and things like that. I've seen him way out in front on some sweep type actions. Have there been any film room moments where you're like, wow, that's kind of different for a left tackle?
Yeah, he's had a lot. He's had a lot. I really like Josh, man. What he's done, the talent level that he has. For me, I think the sky's the limit for him, and it's really fun just being able to watch him and try to help him out in any facet of his game. And just be a resource for him, because that's how much I believe in him. And obviously with Kingsley as well, how talented he is. But it's fun. It's fun watching 71 get out there, man, and doing this thing. And there's a reason, he got drafted where he got drafted, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
Trey, now that you've won a couple games, I know you got a long season to go, but now that you've won a couple games, is there something you can look back to for how you guys handled being 0-2 that allowed you guys to rebound the way you have the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's the NFL. It's a tough job. It's not easy. Everyone in this league is good, or they wouldn't be in this league. And you take it one game at a time. You take it one day at a time. You take it one play at a time. And you don't blink. You don't look too far ahead. You just stay focused in the present moment, and you just try to win each day, each rep as much as you can, and you just keep pushing it forward from there.
Last one.
Trey, the 2021 draft class, there's a lot of prominent players in this game coming up. Trevor, Travis Etienne. Can you specifically talk about your draft class here with the Chiefs and how you've grown, guys like Nick Bolton and Creed and those guys?
Yeah, it's cool to see those same guys and familiar faces. Quite a few of us still here. And, just having a good friendship and a good rapport with all your guys and seeing them succeed, and knowing we all came in together at the time and still having the established level of success here. It's definitely a really cool feeling. I got drafted here. I was blessed, fortunate to be here, and to still go to work with like Creed, you know what I mean? Seeing him playing beside him, that's awesome. We were in draft training together. Having a guy like Nick Bolton, I used to knock heads with him in Missouri, and having a guy like Noah Gray, who's a great tight end for our team, who does a lot of stuff and at times is underappreciated, but is a hell of a player. And not even including like Malik Herring and other people. I hope I'm not missing anybody else, but it's cool being able to still have those guys around and even reminisce back in the couple old years, getting a little bit older.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Trey.
Thank y'all.
Leo's ramping up something else and we'll bring in a truck.
You got a timeline, just roughly?
Probably 5 at least.
Okay. Five, at least.
Yes. The emotions. And then something down. Neutral, like.
Waking. There he is. Thanks, Leo. Come on in.
Ridiculous. Leo lost a little weight.
Really slimmed down.
Right. Second, right.
Okay. Fine.
Hey,
Thomas or what?
back there.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be great. It's just,
Typically water some room.
We could do it on the beach.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll be there for sure.
So I'll let you know. Actually, on you asked that. We have a room, chapel. So just.
Sounds like you want to say something. That's lost. What's gonna be invited? We've been.
No heat last year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Google, but I think they're right. Maybe that's why I just ordered this.
Oh, there you go.
Some sort of thing that Nike might put out. So I just ordered this right there.
Those are Oregon Ducks colors, dude. Where it's the orange and black.
You know, we were talking super.
Come on.
It is dogs. Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you, Barrett. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see you wear that, especially if you wear a over sports coat. No, that's a plus.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be. I'm assuming so. You haven't even got it.
Oh, really? Not yet.
Yeah. People are kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
But even if you do only get one. The quarters, the second is. Yeah. Pressure. They usually read for us, like you get.
Yeah. Certainly, the watch against that. Yeah, that's a good, that's a good one. And look, maybe it's you know, they get straight away.
You guys.
Figure out how she don't interact. Yeah, succeeds. That's great. They've done a lot of very upstairs.
Yeah, he played well. It's yeah.
Now he gets cooked. So you understand like.
Yeah.
First things you see is the in the past.
We don't need one.
What's the thought? Feel it right after thought.
Did you see out there? Is he out there? Yeah. This week. Okay, this was.
Pretty quiet today.
You want water?
I don't think there was a single scrum. Yeah, it's been a couple of one-offs, but not a single scrum. Still. Yeah, but everyone's just kind of standing around talking to each other, so.
It's usually how it goes.
Travis has a autographed name on jersey, you know, just laying like back in this chair, casual. Just like we all do.
Hopefully it doesn't get any food stains or anything.
How weird does your life have to be that just autographed name on jersey? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was that the one with Odell Beckham Jr. in Brazil? Travis came up to him.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Is this her first thing? No. This is good.
We don't see the, but we're past.
Still waiting? See? Still waiting for the,
You can sit there. I'm not. No. It's before beauty. That means, it's something. Respect your own.
see, this is draft, see this draft.
Maybe.
Two slices available. Regular time. I thought I kind of.
There, right there. Yeah, there. No question. So she went to.
What is the hold up?
I
think it's 85.
Did you see the latest?
Oh, yeah.
So it's good.
That's slipping is on.
They don't know about that.
I know.
Words, if you're the news side, you go the other side.
Well, that's what happens when you take somebody that was in charge of a accounting firm to go in front of professional schools. That's not smart.
You'd be in that position. Go for Leo.
Coaching the defensive backs this week.
Oh man, yeah, just trying to learn as much from them. I got a long ways to go.
Like your college interception was from right to you, I guess what made this one so special for you?
Yeah, I was saying that to the guys, like this is the first one that I actually, made a, like an athletic or like, DB type play. So it was pretty cool. And the thing was plastering on a down that, Lamar's going to extend plays. So it's plastering on a down and just being able to read his eyes, Andrew's eyes, and just get my head around and do my best to make a play.
You kind of know that the blitz is called and that's probably going to happen that way, right? But how often, you don't have to trail someone 25, 30 yards downfield very often in the season, right?
Right. It's unique to those certain guys, especially Lamar. And that's something we were coaching. They were coaching us up all week on. You got to plaster no matter what. And, Lamar threw it off his back foot, running backwards basically, and he was still able to get it in the vicinity. So, it's all of us I feel like we're detailed in on plastering.
That's one of the plays that really got some emotion going for the team. And I've heard several players talk before the game, after the game, or not before and after the game, about it was really good emotion all game long, all sides. And that maybe hasn't been the case all year. How do you do that? I mean, how do you keep emotion up? Is it plays like that? I mean, because you can't just fake it, right?
Oh, I mean, that definitely helps. And the challenge is being still vocal and full of energy, even when things go south. So, like I said, I think that's the biggest thing. Even when things aren't going well, just having those guys that are willing to step up and be like, no, we got this. Still having that energy, because in my mind, that's bigger, because it's easy to let, get yourself affected. Energy vampires can bring you down. And luckily, we don't have any of those guys. So it's definitely big in those moments.
Trent told me that the defensive backs have an all hands board, and you made the board and moved up on the board. When you hear, defensive backs talk about you like that, how does it make you feel?
Man, it's special because, a lot of times they'll say, hey, great job in the run game or doing this, knocking somebody back. So, you got guys like Trent and those dudes saying that about it's a huge compliment. I just got to keep it going and prove it's not just a fluke. So.
Did your agent call you and go, hey, nice job, I'm gonna sell you as a coverage guy now?
Oh, man. No, he did not. Yeah, right. No, yeah. No, but no, just trying to be as versatile as I can, man. Just help the team out.
You mentioned that you looked at his eyes. Was that your cue on that play?
Yeah, and it's you just feel a guy, continue to run, and all of a sudden their eyes get big, and a lot of them try to do their hands last second, stuff like that. But for me, it was just like seeing the eyes and knowing, Lamar is gonna make a play out of nothing. So I was just trying to be ready.
With a running back like ETN, what do you have to be mindful of?
Sorry, can you say that?
With a running back like ETN, what do you have to be mindful of?
What stuck out on me just watching film the past few days is, how well he is like on the edge, and his stiff arm's good, but it's not just setting an edge. You got to have great eyes. You got to continue to press the edge because, he'll bounce it out even if you got, a DN setting the edge 2 yards up the field. So I think it's just trusting each other and continue to drive upfield on certain things and, having good square hips, athletic position, and being ready to knock down a stiff arm.
You were the one touchdown as a stand-up guy and you took on a double team. What was that experience like?
Oh, it's cool being able to learn, like I said, from, different guys. You learn from Chris and you learn from Trent. And as much as I can be, a Swiss Army knife as possible, like I'm going to be on the field more and help out the team more. That's where I want to be. And, on that play specifically, I'd like to get the stop. I was driven back and kind of full head of steam running back. It's tough, but, I just want to be able to make those plays the best I can.
Overall, under new coaches with Jacksonville, how have you seen that operation change from previous times you played Jacksonville, and just how they look under that new coach?
Yeah, I mean, what really sticks out is their use of motion, pre-snap motion, whether it's jet motion or just, aligning, like, moving guys across the formation. So it's really having good eyes and, every single person's got to be on, the same page because you get a jet guy and then somebody swapping back, everybody's got to be in their gap, the right gap. And then they'll throw in, a counter pass or something like that. So it's just guys having good eyes, disciplining their technique and trusting each other.
Leo, it seems that you guys, especially in defense, are pretty willing to share information and share lessons. And this is something I learned previously. Did that surprise you more than you maybe anticipated when you were a rookie? And then how much do you think that is now happening in turn with guys like Ashton, Noel, Asa, of course, on the defensive side, through the first part of this season?
It's like teaching guys, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I think we just got a great culture, that Coach Reid and Coach Spags have established. You got guys taking other guys under their wing that, could possibly take their job in the future. It's a tough business like that, but you got guys that are just so humble. And, when I came in, I had a great group of linebackers. I just look around, I'm like, dude, we're blessed to be able to have guys like this, because it's just making each other all better, because you don't just learn as a student, you learn as a teacher as well when you're teaching. So it's pretty cool to be part of it.
Who was that guy for you? Here.
There was a few. I mean, Nick is the obvious answer. He's somebody that was thrown in the fire as a rookie, and he's somebody that knows the defense in and out and plays with energy. So, yeah, I think about Nick.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
It worked.